How do you measure a successful season? Is it a loud introduction onto the scene, crossing off a first?
This is Kroll's time!
Is it a return to form, an exacting precision, ice in your veins? Is it an enduring excellence, a Hall of Fame level of play that refuses to quit? Or is it a run at history, a chance at not one, not two, but 3 consecutive championship belts? Whatever the bar may be, this event celebrates the bowlers at the very top of their game. The gold standard for this year. And we're down to the last 4.
There it is! Crack it open!
Locked in. Best versus best. To call yourself the champ.
Fire it and win it! The belt's coming home!
The 2024 PBA Playoff Championship Finals starts now on Fox.
On this Sunday afternoon from beautiful Kissimmee, Florida, who will shine the brightest in the Sunshine State? Welcome to the PBA Playoffs Championship Round, a PBA Tour event at AMF Kissimmee Lanes for the first time ever. And what a couple of showdowns we've got for you in the semifinals. David Croll is a great American story that we'll tell you about. The Players Champion Bill O'Neill is here. The Iceman Jesper Svensson and his doubles partner and best friend. Yes, they have to meet today. Kyle Troup, the U.S. Open champion, is here as well. As we welcome you to the Sunshine State, everybody. I'm John Phantom. My partner is the Hall of Famer Randy Peterson. We'll join the third member of our crew, Kimberly Pressler, in a little bit. So here we go. All of the work done throughout the season leads to the PBA playoffs. In these single game elimination matchups, now we get these Final Four, and it's only fitting, RP, that one of the Final Four here is the guy with the belt 2 years in a row, Kyle Troup.
Yeah, it seems like Kyle would be a pretty good bet today, right? I mean, based on his track record, winner of this event in 2021 and 22. How about this record? He's won 11 straight matches dating back to 2023. You know, for me, John, he just seems like he's been ultra focused on television this season. And if he can maintain that level of concentration today, he's going to be tough to beat.
And here's a look at those 11 matches in a row that he has won in singles events only, and he meets his best friend, Jesper Svensson, later this afternoon. Meanwhile, you get the real deal, Bill O'Neill, who set the tone to this season as the Players Champion.
Yeah, he got his season off to a great start, didn't he? But you know what? You can't turn your back on Bill O'Neill. He beat his buddy Jason Belmonte last week in Washington, and he knows how to win this event. If there's one thing that we've learned over the years about Bill O'Neill, don't ever underestimate him.
Our friends at WWE supply the hardware for the PBA Playoffs champion, and we've even got a WWE superstar with us today. Over to our in-house MC, Mike Jakubowski.
Bowling fans, here to throw out our ceremonial first ball from Friday Night SmackDown, WWE superstar, Baron Corbin.
Pretty good. He doesn't use his thumb, and I don't think his fingers fit the ball either.
U.S. Open champion Baron Corbin joining us. Let's take a look at our oil patterns.
So we have dual patterns, which means twice the competition. The Mike Albee on the right lane, 39 feet. The Dick Weber, 45 feet. Remember back in Washington, all the players chose to finish on the right lane.
To kick us off, Bill O'Neill and David Croll. These two met in the Delaware Classic. Croll won a dramatic matchup, but earlier this season in U.S. Open qualifying, Croll beat Bill O'Neill. And Bill said to David that day, "You belong, and you are made for these moments." So they have developed a special friendship of their own.
unfortunate. It does go high, and Bill does leave the 410, but what he's going to try to do is he's going to try to get his ball over here to the left side of that 4-pin and cut it into the 10. Bill, the higher seed, he's chosen to finish on that right lane. Speaking with some of the tour reps prior to the start of the telecast, they thought the right lane was better, just like it was just north of Seattle.
Here's the 28-year-old David Croll. He started off this year as a pre-tournament qualifier. Folks, that takes a lot of effort, a lot of work. Moving full-time to the tour, won the Delaware Classic, and now here. With a Croll Patrol chant in the background, Boog, as he's nicknamed, begins with a strike, and here is that dramatic, emotional win in Delaware.
Nice break there, tripping out the 4-9 late, and he's pumped. The lanes got brutally ugly. You can see just how far he was lofting it. I mean, he went from a pre-tournament qualifier to champion to now looking to win the PBA playoffs. It's an amazing story.
His job, as we look at his arsenal here.
Black Pearl Hammer.
He works at a bowling alley. Andy B's in Springfield. Back-to-back jacks for Croll to start. Randy, he has worked as a lane attendant, a cook, a bartender, front desk assistant, and mechanic. Currently, he's a string pin mechanic at the alley.
He can do it all. And here's a look at Bill O'Neill's arsenal. He's using a black pearl urethane on the right lane and a theorem on the left. So urethane on the right, reactive for Bill to start.
This is where he'll finish, the right side, on that 10.
And that's the pin that we have to watch for the right-handers. Bill O'Neill, the only player on today's telecast that uses a thumb. His rev rate's going to be the lowest. But a little more friction on these two lanes than we had at Angel of the Wind.
14-time PBA Tour champ, winning his third major earlier this year. Little tale of the tape between these two and what they've done on the season. Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's all about being clean.
Well, Bill talked with us about that. He said, throughout my career, I've always been able to find a way to adapt. I might be more traditional in style, but I continue to adapt.
Well, he's got all the talent in the world, plus all the knowledge. He's been here before. Oh, no.
Struggling on the left side.
Gave that one a little more room, and it never got back. And that was after going high.
Right's bad. Not bad.
Was it about a month ago we saw Shota Tozawa make two of those in the same game?
Yes.
With two different balls?
The same game.
I've never seen that before. It's insane.
Oh, boy. So, a tough start for Bill O'Neill. Let's send it over to Kimberly Pressler.
Thanks, guys. So, Baron, you are used to being under the bright lights, but these Fox lights are a little bit different than what you're used to. So how fun was that there trying to get that strike? It's a bit hard, right?
I mean, it's nerve-wracking. You have all these people right on top of you, sitting over the lanes, and it's your first time throwing a ball down that lane. You have no idea how it's going to react or anything like that. So, yeah, it was tough. I mean, these guys are pros for a reason.
Yeah, it's tougher than what people think. Now, you and I talked earlier, and I know that you enjoy bowling with your two little girls, but there's a story behind the reason why you went and got yourself a ball and some shoes. What is that story?
Yeah, I had a couple of buddies back when I was playing for the Arizona Cardinals, and we went out and had a good night and decided to make a bet. First one to bowl 200 wins, and all the losers of that bet had to get a tattoo with the winner's name inside of a heart. So it was the pressure was on. I had to get a ball, get some shoes, and learn how to bowl quick so that I didn't end up end up with a tattoo of one of my buddy's names on me.
So there's 3 other guys out there with your name tattooed on them.
Yes, and one of them's fantastic. He put in a big heart with a lot of flowers. It's obnoxious. I love it.
That's the only way to go. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Baron Corbin, former United States champion, one-time NXT Tag Team champion. Great to have him here today. Boog Croll is on fire. 4 in a row to open up.
You know, the one thing that Bill told me prior to the show was that you can't let this young man get comfortable. Guess what? He's comfortable.
Yes, he is. And Bill O'Neill has been the opposite of that thus far. Nine spare his first time out on the right side, and the 10 is being stubborn.
Another urethane 10 for O'Neill on the right lane. And I'm not sure what kind of adjustment he's going to make on when he gets back to the left. He might go with urethane.
It's drastic times already for O'Neill.
One-game matches on television, nothing harder.
No. And that gives us a chance to give you our format today. These head-to-head single-game matches. We have Troup versus Svensson next as O'Neill makes an adjustment.
Yeah, he's making a ball change. Looks like it's a GB4 hybrid.
Works.
Yeah, and that's when you want to punch yourself in the face, right? It's like, why didn't I just start with that ball?
Yeah.
But you know, you've got to make these decisions on the fly, and then you have to have conviction in what you're doing. And again, any ball looks great when you throw it perfect like he just did there.
Right. There's that look of, why didn't I just do that at first that you talk about? By the way, to finish the thought on our format today, we have Troup versus Svensson next. The winner of this versus the winner of that match. And it's a race to 2 championship. Old Boogie said, well, old Boog, it's still pretty good. Perfect through 5 for David Croll. The American Dream story this season.
And this is the difference between the flat 10 of O'Neill and that 6-pin going to the sidewall and kicking the 10 out. It's just power.
He doesn't have a coach, no sort of instructor. He consults with Kevin Williams, fellow pro, on tour.
Kevin Williams is left-handed.
Yeah. That's the uniqueness of this guy. Very likable. He coaches himself.
Light the candle!
Well, that candle didn't light there. And Croll blinks.
3-6, 9-10, and the trouble pin is that back pin. And typically we've seen players do that, but I've seen a lot of other players kind of throwing this ball into the 3-9. Be interesting to see how he goes about this.
How would you throw it?
Well, back in the day, we'd throw a hook ball into the 3-6 and try to cover the 9 pin, but the patterns out here, typically the outside part of the lane is really slick. Hard to do that.
Back in the day, you're not that old.
Oh, I am. Hang on. Yeah. He's got such a big lead, but obviously not what you want to do going to break, right? You don't want to give Bill any kind of hope.
No, don't give the real deal an opening. Thus far, though, Boog Croll, the guy that's been working different positions in a bowling alley, decided to go full-time this year. He's won a title. He's looking for another today.
Made sure to catch everybody.
The PDA on Fox is sponsored by Experience Kissimmee. Check out Kissimmee, Florida for the promenade at Sunset Walk, dinner at Estefan Kitchen, and live entertainment. Learn more at experiencekissimmee.com. And by Bolero. Save big on bowling with a summer season pass. Bowl 2 games every day for one low price. Visit summerseasonpass.com and get your pass today. Beautiful Kissimmee, Florida. We want to thank Experience Kissimmee for giving us some great dining experiences, some fun adventures that we'll show you later today. All throughout the weekend, they have been a wonderful host. As we take a look at our Bowl TV highlights from last Sunday's quarterfinal action, David Croll started out by beating number 1 seed E.J. Tackett.
Yeah, and he did it handily, too. 257-213. Bill O'Neill defeated Bill Monty, like we mentioned earlier, 238-206. And then it was the Iceman coming. How about 289 the front 10? And then Kyle Troup. Who could forget this match? We had Simonson throwing a backup ball in the right lane, a traditional hook on the left lane. Kyle Troup still takes down one of the best players on the planet, 234-225.
That's what's so much fun about the playoffs as we take a look at the bracket. Look at the superstar power here in RP. The top 3 seeds, Tackett, Kent, and Simonson, none of them are here.
One-game match. Anything can happen. But I got to tell you, you can't take anything away from Boog Croll. I mean, the Boog he's averaging over 250 and lighting them up. All right. Yeah, and I think if you're O'Neill at this point, down 50 halfway through this match, you got to think, well, my only chance is if I strike out.
But here's the thing, as you've discussed, he's capable of that.
Oh, without question. Now, remember the ball change on the left lane? It worked perfectly in the 5th. See what happens.
Only one of the top 4 seeds who received buys in the quarters and are here in the semifinals. This man. He's got adjustment, and now he's feeling good.
Come on.
Another great shot. And again, the ball change on that left lane where Bill O'Neill started open. Now back-to-back strikes on the left. O'Neill down 30.
So now how does Croll handle this after 5 strikes to start? He's been perfect on the right side.
Separate it. Come on, Boog. Separate it, separate it, separate it, separate it. Come on.
Take a look at this form and 0 slide at the foul line. Watch this again. That's Goodyear tread on the bottom of that slide foot.
He said, when I do get nervous on TV, my feet get too fast.
That's pretty typical for just about everyone. Get a little pumped up and you get fast. Ball gets in the swing quick.
So he told us he does breathing exercises, like you just saw. He liked that one.
Yeah, anytime you see a player let go of it and start running it out, it's usually a pretty good sign.
He loved that.
Yes, he did.
Strikes in all but the 6th for Boog Croll. Stops O'Neill's streak.
Not just any 10, another weak 10 on the right lane.
So many goddamn 10 comes on TV, man.
Look at that, Norm Duke, the Hall of Famer, sitting next to the commissioner. Hi, Norm. Yeah, you can see just how disappointed he is. Making some nice shots on that lane, but there's just not enough power going through the pins to get that weak 10 out for Bill O'Neill.
We'll hand out the Duke trophy this September.
There he is.
On FS1, Norm Duke, the Hall of Famer. One of the greatest ever with Tom Clark, our commissioner.
Yeah, that's one where you want to kick yourself. Yep. That's the frustration. He knows he should have started with that ball in the left lane, but again, still trying to get weak 10s out on the right for O'Neal. Boog's got 5-bagger open double.
Come on, don't get here.
Strike here, it could be all she wrote.
Boog Croll, 4-0 on television.
Throw one good here.
This new guy on the block has been phenomenal in Florida thus far. Bill O'Neal got off to a tough start. Boog Croll saw the opening, and David Croll is moving on to the finals.
Just fearless.
Separate it. Come on. Not so far up the lane. Separate it.
This guy has had every job in his home bowling center in Missouri. He told us yesterday, I'm just some schmuck trying to fulfill a dream. Well, Boog Croll, you are the American dream playing out on the PBA Tour. From a pre-tournament qualifier to the PBA Playoffs finals.
Come on.
And let's go to Tour Rep Mike Wolf real quick. Mike, what does Boog mean when he keeps saying separated?
He's getting a little steeper in the front. He's trying to get his body a little bit further left of the target and trying to get the ball to move out a little more to the right so it has a little more time to return.
All right, Mike, thank you.
David Croll, and for Bill O'Neal, it's another terrific season for a guy who ranked up the first major of the year.
Phenomenal season for O'Neal. He's a phenomenal bowler. He's a future Hall of Famer.
Yes, he is. So consistent. But on this day, yet again, Randy Peterson, we find ourselves talking about the guy who, in a way, came out of nowhere this season, David Croll.
Oh my God.
Yes. Oh my God. His wife Hazel, his mom Shauna is here. His in-laws are here. This is one heck of a story, and he'll be one of two left standing.
Incredible story. I mean, he's handled everything we've thrown at him this season, right?
What did he tell you earlier this week?
He said, when I talked to him a couple of days ago, he said, Randy, I have nothing to lose.
And isn't that the best role to have in sports? David Croll, the 9 seed. All that matters is that he's one of 3 that stand. Who will join him in the finals? Svensson versus Troup coming up, and Kimberly is with David now.
David, congratulations on advancing. You were going for a championship, but let's talk about this one real quick. How were you able to take down Bill O'Neal just now?
I think I was just able to figure out this left lane. I was kind of worried about it going into it. I saw Kyle throw a lot of reactive. I was like, I'm not throwing reactive. There's just no way. But I was able to throw a couple together.
Before the top of the show, you had said that you felt like the underdog. Well, the underdog is now going for a championship, and you're going to find out who you're going to go up against. But are you a little nervous about that, or are you ready?
I think I'm ready. I think nerves are going to be a part of it. I never expected to be here, so I'm just going to enjoy the moment.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
That feeling when you're making that dream come to fruition. But who's going to join him? The Iceman, Jesper Svensson, the U.S. Open champion, Kyle Troup. They are the best of friends. And they square off next. Welcome back to AMF Kissimmee Lanes in Kissimmee, Florida. PBA Playoffs Championship round. David Croll on to the finals. Who will join him? We'll find out soon. But Randy Peterson, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Would you be willing to zip line over alligators?
That'd be a negative.
Well, Kimberly Pressler is braver than you are. This morning, KP took on the challenge. Our friends at Experience Kissimmee provided her with this.
Yeah, no. 1, I'm afraid of alligators. 2, I'm afraid of heights. No chance of me doing it.
Man.
She's way more brave than I am.
That is some great stuff from Kimberly, who also asks our bowlers the pressing questions presented by Go Bowling. In the spirit of Kyle Troup and Jesper Svensson, we talked with our bowlers about the tight friendships that they have formed. Here's our pressing questions presented by Go Bowling.
EJ, who would you say has the best romance on tour?
Well, I would say probably me and Ronnie.
Why?
Well, he was in my wedding, which Marshall was in my wedding too, so maybe it's like more than one? Me, Ronnie, and Marshall?
There is a little bit of a bromance, but they play it very cool. Tommy Jones and DJ Archer.
DJ and I fight the most, but we're up there. We're pretty close.
Didn't you and DJ used to live with each other?
DJ lived with me. Let's get it straight. We didn't live together.
Officially corrected. Gotcha.
Yeah, 100%. That's kind of like I should have been able to write him off on my taxes because I claimed him as a child.
I watch Jesper and Kyle a lot.
Kyle and Jesper.
Kyle and Jesper?
Yeah, I guess it's Jesper and I.
And why do you think you two get along so well?
Because we're so opposite.
I think you and Bill O'Neill qualify under the romance category, yeah?
Oh, I think we're too old now. You know, we don't really hug each other anymore. We used to when we're young.
David, who has the biggest bromance on tour?
I think it's Kevin Williams and himself. He loves himself so much.
I'm going me and Mitch Hupe, though. We are best buds forever and always.
But I heard it was you and Packy.
You know, honestly, it switches, but me and all my friends have the best friendships because we're the three best friends that anyone could ever have. And we'll never, ever, ever leave each other.
I got nothing.
Who was your best friend when you were on tour?
Oh, gosh. I had a lot of good friends. I mean, Ron Palumbi Jr., George Branham III, those were the guys I kind of hung with.
Well, here's this bromance now on your television screen. Kyle Troup versus Jesper Svensson. First time on TV that they meet. Look at this. Now, Svensson will let you know that when they met in the USA versus the World Series of Bowling in 2023, Jesper beat Kyle. And Jesper has beaten Kyle before in non-televised showdowns. Kyle has the 11-match winning streak in singles. And this crowd loves them some Troup.
How about the signs last week at Angel of the Winds? You can't handle the truth. Yeah, there's no friendship in this match.
No.
This is like, I'm going to try to beat the hell out of you.
How about the show this guy put on in Washington?
Oh, it's incredible. How about this? How about his resiliency all season long? That's why he's here.
He's an 11-time champion. Jesper Svensson opens with a strike. And we want to give a shout out to J.D. McDonough, another WWE superstar here with us today. J.D., welcome to the show, and our friends at WWE supply the championship belt.
Hey, JD, my partner John Fanta wants to know if you want to arm wrestle after the show. for 100.
Where did that come from?
All right, taking a look at Jesper Svensson's orb, IQ Tour 78U. Yeah. And look at that rev rate, folks. It's the highest on tour, the most powerful strike ball on the PBA, Jesper Svensson. But if he can't get that corner pin out, and it's going to be flat sevens for Jesper Svensson, he's going to be in big trouble against Kyle Troup.
The first player to win 5 PBA titles by the age of 21, and he's the youngest to win the Tournament of Champions when he was 20 years, 357 days old. Now, 29. Looking for a renaissance in his career, and he just missed the 7. That is brutal.
you'll see some of our stats pop up from time to time, and they're great stats. And as always, we get those from our dear friends at Lane Talk. For more information, head on over to lanetalk.com and download their free app.
Mistake by Svensson, Randy. You talk about Troup. He gets momentum, and sometimes that can take the whole show for him.
I think the whole thing with him is he's just ultra focused. And when I spoke to him yesterday, he goes, you know, it just seems like when I do get to television this year, that I just take it to another level mentally. He's using that urethane ball on the right, the same ball that Jesper Svensson's using, and Optimum Idol on the left lane, reactive resin.
Got out here earlier this week, spent some time to relax in New Smyrna Beach.
Let's go, Kyle! Get off of there. Go!
It did.
Come on.
With a Mamba mentality. We'll tell you about it later, but that's why he's wearing the purple and gold this afternoon. He has always idolized Kobe Bryant. In need of a bounce back. Six.
Had carry issues at the World Series of Bowling a month or so ago. Last week, the big 289 game. And right now, strike, 7-pin whiff, and then the 6-pin right behind it.
Cleans it up, but in an early hole against his best friend. Now, the clean frame percentage for Svensson here on the season, as we look at the tail of the tape, that's the highlight.
What happened in the second frame?
Yep. Just goes to show you the other.
It's crazy.
Other 6.9%.
Yep.
Talked to us earlier this week about becoming more patient. And he said, becoming a dad will cause you to be more patient. He and his better half, Jolene, here. Jolene watching him in the States on a televised event for the first time ever. But unfortunately, that 6 is unforgiving right now.
It's fortunate it's just the 6. And right now, Kyle Troup's sitting over there like he was chumming the ocean at New Smyrna Beach.
And the other players talk about it all the time. If Troup sends his blood in the water, this is a guy who can just accelerate.
Speaking of acceleration, tonight on FS1,
Holy
NASCAR
acceleration!
returns to North Wilkesboro Speedway for the 2024 All-Star Race, where the biggest stars in racing battle it out for $1 million. The All-Star Race goes down at 8 Eastern tonight on FS1.
It'll be fun. NASCAR superstars joining us during our All-Star weekend earlier this season. Let's take a look at Kyle's road to get here. Beating Simonson in what was a great showdown.
Feeling it right now.
Man.
And Guppy is here today, his dad.
The Gupster.
A 42-time champion, 8 national titles.
I went to battle with Gup a few times back in my early years.
Kyle honors his dad. Every time out, Guppy would wear the colors back in the day, 70s, 80s type of look. So he's inspired by his pops with his fashion game.
He's on fire. 5 in a row for the pro with the throw.
Kind of reminiscent of our first match. Now it's a 53-pin lead for Kyle Troup.
A Sunday kiss. Svensson beating Matt Russo, what was a tight one, and then commanding Marshall Kent from there. To get here.
High again, but this time he gets a nice break trip in the 6.
The break he really needed in the worst way.
Can I have a re-rack, please? Yeah, re-rack.
He's hit the pocket 4 out of 5 shots. The one shot a little bit high, but missing the 7-pin and then leaving the 6-pin right behind it. Got him off to a poor start, and then, well, see what Kyle's doing. He's perfect through 5.
Did they reset it already? No.
Waiting for a re-rack. Sorry, John.
6th TV show for Svensson of the year. 4th in the Scorpion. 5th in doubles with Troup. 3rd at the World Championship. Fell to Tackett. Top 25 at the Players Championship. He talked about consistency with us. He's top 10 on the points list this season. That's why he's got that 10 seed. As we rate the pins here. And speaking of that doubles pairing of Troup and Svensson, let's go back to February of 2020. Roth Holman PBA Doubles Championship. Troup and Svensson defeated E.J. Tackett and Marshall Kent to win the title. That was the 2nd of their career together. For Svensson, his 10th career PBA title. Troup's 5th at the time.
All right, we're good.
Back-to-back for Svensson, trying to stay alive here against Troup, who will meet David Croll in the playoffs finals. Troup has been perfect thus far. Svensson trying to battle him. We're just getting started on Fox. The on-lane graphics you see, including the oil patterns which are projected on today's lanes, are courtesy of Clutch Bowling. Welcome back to AMF Kissimmee Lanes, hosting a PBA Tour event for the first time ever. Troup is here. Kyle Troup is here. The winner of this matchup will meet David Croll in the playoffs finals. John Fanta, Randy Peterson, Kimberly Pressler, pleased to have you with us on a Sunday afternoon on Fox.
Good stop.
At least he stopped.
Man, they're going to get me now on social.
What happened?
I'm not sure. Something with his footing.
Right back at it.
Just glad he held up. Perfect through 5. How does he handle it?
Hated it. Paid for
boy.
it. Yeah.
Good process, Kyle. Thank you. missed twice. Now he did it.
Well, this was definitely left to target, and he pays for it.
So an open here for Troup after 5 consecutive strikes.
Let's go down to the floor and tour up Tim Mack. And Timmy, other than that last shot, 2024, Kyle's been competing on television at an extremely high level. Why? Timmy's going to let him throw it first.
Great. I just think his focus and level of concentration on TV has been fantastic. As you can see, there's a good example of it right there where he comes back from an errant shot and makes another great shot. I just think he's been dialed in mentally, and I think that's what's given him, this good run that he's been on.
Thank you, Tim.
He is an avid reader. He's been reading Deion Sanders' book most recently. Kyle Troup, the Player of the Year in 2021, U.S. Open champion this year. Tour Finals champ last year. Now Svensson. He's having a tough time. Three and the 9 here for Jesper.
Well, he really needed that. If he threw 2 strikes there, 1 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th, he would have cut the deficit to 8. It's starting to look more and more like Krol Troup for the finale.
Never say never, but that's the way that it appears right now as we head to the 8th.
30 down with 3 frames.
Troup cooling off in the Florida heat.
Oh, he's not going to cool off.
Credit to this crowd. They were outside this center at around 9 a.m. They waited 4 hours, over 90-degree heat. This sport has the best fans.
You're right about that. Here you go. Well, there's still a chance, but he needs help from Troup.
We've only seen Kyle blink once. Now, it was on the right lane. This is the side that he will finish on. Again, we have 2 different oil patterns. Dick Weber 45 on the left, Mike Albee 39 here on the right.
Oh. And on that note about the oil pattern, keep in mind that we will re-oil for the final match, the 2-game final match. Troup fortunate there to get the 7 out. Terrible break if you leave the pocket 7-10 because you make a nice shot. Typically, you come away with an open frame.
The drama in our finals as well. If we have a tie-break situation, if each player takes a game, we'll have a 9th and 10th frame roll off.
Oh. Uh-oh. What?
What on earth?
That's a first. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
He hit his ankle.
Yeah, I'm going to need a re-rack, Russ.
I think he hit his ankle.
It twisted.
What was that?
Let's get another look at this. You think the ball may have?
Yep,
oh, yes,
right there.
It did.
Right in the ankle bone. Done that a few times. Let me tell you how not so good that feels. Can't believe we've seen so much craziness this season.
Well, you said Jesper needed a little bit of help. Take a look at those max scores now. In some pain. Oh boy.
Yeah, take a look at the max score now.
This just totally shifted with 2 shots.
Pretty big miss there, as you can see. Position at the arrows and the break point.
He started with 5 strikes in a row. Cleans that up, but Jesper Svensson got an opening.
It was just a couple of frames ago where I said it looks more and more like it's going to be the Troup Croll finale, and Jesper Svensson is a 3-bagger and 9 away from moving on.
And he has struck in 3 of his last 4.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness.
Wow. Came around and a strike for Svensson.
That got back from Dr. Phillips. That's about 8 miles from here. That's where I live. I didn't think this ball had a chance.
Wow. How do you explain that? We talked about it earlier. At Angel of the Winds, there's so much carry, and talking with the other players about urethane and how it can carry down the lanes, and that maybe this would be different, and it is different. We're scoring really high, but now Svensson with another, and Jesper Svensson with that max score. Svensson now leads.
One more just like this one, and then 9. And then I'll have to eat my hat.
And he can shut him out. Wow. Could feel the tension here. The Iceman heating up at the perfect time. And now he just needs 9.
Have a second redirect, please.
Kyle Troup could taste it. And we remind you, these two are the best of friends. So they said, look, it would have been great to get each other in the finals, but we'll take this semifinal showdown. But this could be some heartbreak for a guy who holds 2 of these belts. Playoffs starting in 2019 on Fox. Troup owns 2 of the 4 titles. Wanted the 3rd belt, a 3-peat. Now Svensson just needs 9. Jesper Svensson is heading to the playoff finals. Incredible comeback.
Love you, brother.
Love you, brother.
I don't know how many people saw that coming. I know I didn't. Who would have expected Kyle Troup to bounce it off of his ankle and miss the 10-pin in the 8th, and then just open the door for Jesper? Incredible finish.
And so it will be the number 9 seed against the number 10 seed to determine the playoff champion. And for Troup, just an unfortunate turn of events after 5 straight strikes. You said it, that's this season in a lot of ways. Just when you think.
I mean, after 5 frames, Jesper is trailing by 53.
Unbelievable. It's never over. David Croll and Jesper Svensson will square off in the PBA Playoffs finals.
absolutely incredible from Svensson, who comes back from 53 down. Kimberly is with the Iceman now.
Jesper, congratulations on this win. I know that was a tough one because it was against your best friend, and he started off strong with the front five, but you kept the pressure on him, and in the eighth, he left that door open. How were you able to capitalize on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think he hit his ankle or something. That does not happen very often, so Lady Luck was on my side, but I'm still proud of how I bowled that back half of the game. A little shaky start, but now we're settled in, so now we're going to try to take down one more guy and put the belt on around my waist, so I can't wait.
Well, you mentioned that it was a little bit shaky start for you. Is this the biggest comeback you've ever had?
Maybe one of them, but like I said, it would not have been possible without a little bit of luck, so I hope Kylie's all right, and still love the guy to death, so sucks that one of us had to lose, but I'll take it.
Congratulations, and we're going to see you next in the finals.
Thank you.
Yes, we will. Just incredible. Jesper Svensson, who has caught fire here as the season has gone down the stretch. David Croll, the great story on tour this year. Svensson, Croll set for the finals. The PBA is proud to have Bowlers to Veterans link as the official charity of the PBA Tour. In today's BVL Salute to Veterans, we welcome U.S. Army and U.S. Air Force Reserves Master Sergeant Edwin Diaz, who served for 24 years. Thank you for your service, Edwin. To donate, go to bvl.org.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for being here.
And then there were two in the PBA playoffs. David Boog Croll will meet Jesper Svensson for the playoffs title. John Fanta, Randy Peterson, recapping quite a surprise between Svensson and Kyle Troup, who was in control through 5 frames. How would you recap what we've just seen the last hour?
Well, in our first match, Bill O'Neill got off to a terrible start and then couldn't strike on the right lane. And for whatever reason, Boog was able to control his emotions and make great shots. He started with a front 5. He did miss that spare in the 6th and then rebounded beautifully, throwing 3 more in a row, and it was just too much for Bill O'Neill. The question for me moving forward is, how is David Croll going to handle the pressure of this final matchup with Jesper Svensson?
And then in our second semifinal, Kyle Troup, the ball collides with his ankle.
Yeah. Right off his ankle into the right gutter, and all of a sudden when we thought the match was over, Jesper Svensson gets some new light, and guess what? He steps up and performs brilliantly, throwing the last 4 and getting 9 on his final shot to advance.
A 224 to 211 win for Svensson, and now Jesper Svensson looking for a PBA Playoffs title. This would be remarkable. Hasn't won since 2022. David Boog Croll won earlier this season. Randy, this is a really interesting final for a variety of reasons, because Croll, again, was a pre-tournament qualifier earlier this year.
Yeah, great story, and then him capturing his first title ever was. It's been a great story. Make no mistake about the Jesper Svensson story is very compelling as well.
Kimberly Pressler is with Kyle Troup.
Thanks, guys. So, Kyle, I know that this is not the way you wanted your day to end, but we just saw the footage of the 8th frame. What happened? It looked like you hit your ankle.
Yeah, I did that exactly. I've never done that on TV before, probably 3 or 4 times in my career. Didn't handle the 6th frame very well on the reset. And, once I was behind the 8 ball there, after I didn't make a good shot in the 9th, I had a feeling we were in trouble.
Well, if you have to lose, at least you did it to your best friend. Now, I saw you hug him at the end there. What did you guys say to each other?
I just told him I loved him and, to go win this, because we said coming into it that we felt like whoever won this match could win the title and the belt. And, if I can't have that 3rd belt, maybe I could borrow Jesper's every now and then.
Are you going to stick around and watch his match then?
Depends how much he pays me, but yeah, I'll be here.
Thank you, Kyle.
Look, that's all class.
Yeah.
That is all class. That's what we love to see on the PBA Tour. David Croll versus Jesper Svensson, a race to 2 championship round is next. Welcome back to beautiful Kissimmee, Florida. Want to thank our friends at Experience Kissimmee for a great weekend to cap off the PBA Tour playoffs. Terrific crowd here, the 2024 edition of this playoff event that came to Fox back in 2019 and the playoffs. Then there were two up for this belt. David Croll versus Jesper Svensson in the finals. It is a race to two. Randy Peterson, explain.
First player to win 2 games is your champ. If they split, we'll go to a 9th and 10th frame roll-off.
Theater.
Svensson opening on the left side and opening with a strike. And in a lot of ways, Randy, you talked about Croll facing the pressure. He told us he has nothing to lose, but when you win like Svensson just did, where he was down 53 through 5 frames, in a way, he's got nothing to lose.
All right, here we go.
Seven for Croll.
7.
Another look at our race to 2 here. Here's how this works. If same player wins each of the first 2 games, we are done. We've got a champion. If we're tied after 2 games, it's a roll-off. 9th and 10th frames. Not just a 1 ball, 1 frame.
Again, I think it's all about how David Croll handles the pressure, but the good news is that there's 2 games, and I think that's a big help for him.
Oh, Boog. Didn't like it, but there was a lot to like with the end result. You had the look of what was there to hate.
All I heard was "oh, Boog," and that could be translated a lot of different ways, right? But that ended up in a really good spot, didn't it?
He's got a great personality.
I mean, I think when my kids were small, I said that a lot, but.
Boog got the nickname from his mom.
Svensson with back-to-back jacks.
And again, remember what Bill O'Neill said earlier. You don't want to give David Croll any reason to feel confident. Look at that dais. You've got Norm Duke, you've got Guppy Troup, you've got Kyle Troup, you've got the commissioner, Tom Clark.
Stars are out. And Svensson has started strong.
Kick save on the 7 and a beauty.
And the Iceman is up there for the best nickname on the PBA Tour. Back to Croll. The 10.
Not just the 10, the flat 10. It's a big difference, especially when you're using your thing. You start leaving flat 10s for a right-hander, weak 7s for a left-hander. It's never a good sign. Remember, this pair, folks, freshly re-oiled.
That's why we had about that 10-minute break between our semifinals and this race to 2 final.
Croll cleans it up.
Svensson out to the early lead. Croll earlier this year, right before he won the Delaware Classic, the week before, he missed the PTQ cut at the Indiana Classic. That really humbled him, he said. But he said the next week in Delaware, I was going to respond. He drove his car 16 hours. Not only did he respond, made it through the PTQ, made the show, won the Delaware Classic.
Open it. It opened. And that 7 came down there for a strike.
Full pass. What?
We want to recognize Scott Chauncey, Senior District Manager, Shannon Martorelli, the District Manager, Richard Johnson, the General Manager here at AMF Kissimmee Lanes. Thank the staff here and Bolero for having us out here in Kissimmee. A nice commute for Randy Peterson.
Yeah, it's a home game, man. Love it. We need more bowling in the state of Florida, honestly, especially Central Florida.
This crowd would reflect it.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Boy, did that come off the spot hard. He's like, oh, please give me a chance. Well, he has one, but you got to pay this one some respect. 2, 4, 7, 8.
Cleans it up nicely.
That was pretty good. He took the plastic ball, moved to the left, and went right up the gut.
That was paying it the respect that you talked about.
Again, you can't give David any reason to feel like he's got a chance, right? Foot on the accelerator.
Got a guy here in Svensson who won so much early in his career, 11 PBA Tour titles, but has not won since the David Smalls Best of the Best Championship in 2022.
Svensson. So after converting, the Iceman now with a strike, he has struck every time on the left.
I think it's doubles for Jesper Svensson, his last televised win. Singles goes back, can you believe this, goes back to 2017?
You are correct.
Really? Yeah, when he won Cheetah.
7 years ago.
That's hard to believe.
The 2 for Croll.
That was hard.
Yep. You can see his ball speed right there, and you heard him say it, that was hard.
Let's do a year in review for David Croll. And what a year it's been. From a part-time guy to somebody who said at 27, I didn't want to end up wondering, what if I go full-time?
Dream season.
4 top 20s. 6th at the U.S. Open. That is such a gauntlet.
Good shot.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was, David Croll. It is a race to 2. This is just game 1. So we are just beginning in our playoffs, finals of the PBA Tour. The Iceman has come to Florida, heating up on Fox. The PBA on Fox is sponsored by Bolero.
Save big on bowling with a summer season pass. Bowl 2 games every day for one low price. Visit summerseasonpass.com and get your pass today. By Experience Kissimmee. Check out Kissimmee, Florida to kayak the Everglades, zip line over alligators, or take an airboat ride. Learn more at experiencekissimmee.com. And by Go Bowling for friends and family fun. Log on to gobowling.com to find a center near you. Beautiful Kissimmee, Florida, hosting the PBA Playoffs finals. Jesper Svensson versus David Croll, 9 seed versus 10 seed. These one-game single elimination matches. We started with 15 down to 2, and Svensson with a 16-pin lead.
Hey, John, let's get out on the floor and talk to Hall of Famer Tim Mack. And Timmy, why don't you give us your impression
that's
of...
long. Come in. That's long.
Tim Mack, can you hear Randy? All right, we'll get back to Timmy in a minute.
Svensson with back-to-back.
Looked like it was going to be high. As we will try to get back to Tim Mack and fix his communication line, but Jesper Svensson just drifting high, just a pinch, but with a spare here, we'll maintain a 25-pin lead. David Croll yet to double.
How about the way that this guy has come on as the years gone on? We saw him in Allen Park. Together some great performances, 3rd at the World Championship, 4th in the Scorpion. For Jesper Svensson right now, again, folks, it is a race to 2.
I mean, Jesper Svensson hung in there all season long when the left side of the lane wasn't giving up a whole lot of bounty, right? And because of that, that's why he's here today.
Beat Matt Russo in the round of 12.
That was a great match. Matt needed a double, got the first one, then left I believe it was a blower 10-pin.
Be sure to hit it.
Then beat Marshall Kent, beat Kyle Troup. Now Croll.
Good shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loved it.
Well, it sure was a good shot.
You can't let him get cooking, is what Bill O'Neill said. And for Boog Croll, his wife Hazel, he said, without her, none of this is possible. You need your wife's support when you're going to make that full-time move.
I agree. Spoke to her before the start of the telecast, said hello, very pleasant, very nice lady.
And from Hazel's support, this guy who was once the cook at his home bowling center, has worked at the front desk, has worked at every position, pin mechanic now.
Kyle Troup used to work at Wendy's.
You used to work at a bank in Alaska.
Oh, see it.
Ooh. Bit unlucky.
Throw better than that. That was somewhat good.
Well, if this was somewhat good and it goes that light, that'll be a head scratcher for Boog Croll.
What are you doing?
I love the self-talk.
Yes. I'm not saying anything.
When I was on television, they couldn't mic me. My self-talk was really bad.
Viewer discretion advised. He is a man of many emotions.
A little fast.
I'd much rather see that than no emotions.
Absolutely. We talked about that at the World Championship that week, with the players really firing up the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
How refreshing it is to watch.
Packy Hanrahan started that. It was brilliant.
Svensson has found it here. Registration for the 2024 PBA LBC National Championships is now open to bowlers of all skill levels and from all centers. The PBA LBC National Championships is heading to a new location outside Chicago and includes 2 new junior divisions. You can compete in singles as well as optional doubles and team events. Even combine your scores with the pros. Enter today at pba.com/LBC tournament. That is a really cool event.
Yeah, it's a great tournament.
And we'll hand out the Duke this September on FS1 when we head to Bayside Bowl in Portland, Maine. Oh, Svensson fired up, and for good reason. 4 out of 5 for Jesper.
He yelled go, and all 10 went right in the back of the pit.
26, ninth frame, game 1.
There's Kyle Troup, who had that ball collide with the ankle of our last game. That led Svensson to this point. Again, race to 2, so the winner of this game is not the champion yet.
Might be good.
It was good enough. You take a look at the accuracy there from the ideal line. It was better than good.
Well, even if Croll strikes out, Jesper Svensson just needs a mark in the 10th. Jesper's in the 230s. Kroll's max score, you can see it right here, 229.
All right, throw this one good.
Croll with the pressure on.
It's not over. Come on.
No, it's far from over.
Give me a chance. Come on, man. One more.
One more on this left lane, and Croll will give himself a chance.
One more good one, Boog. Trust it, you've been here before. Come on.
And a reminder here.
Maybe
Maybe
two
David
games.
needs it. Maybe David needs the reminder. It's a race to 2. And if he could just win 1, then we go to a 9th and 10th roll-off. He struck all but once on this left lane.
Oh, that's inside.
It was inside, and that's not what you're looking for here.
Bad.
Game 1
Bad.
goes to Jesper Svensson.
15.
So for Jesper Svensson, he goes from being 53 down, 5 frames in the semifinals, to now being a game away from winning on TV for the first time since 2017. But that's the beauty of this format here. You can revisit.
I'm just too amped up. Yeah.
Commit to it.
Yeah. I think I can get close to it on both lanes. I think the right lane is okay now.
Well, Jesper Svensson has enough to advance, rather to take a 1-0 lead in this race to 2. So Svensson just a game away. If Croll takes our second game, we go to a roll-off, 9th and 10th frame roll-off.
If Croll gets the second strike in the 10th, he wins.
Crazy.
He wins game 1. Instead, it's Jesper. 220-213.
It just goes to show you, folks, expect the unexpected in 2024 on the PBA Tour. For David Croll, he told us he has nothing to lose. The fact is now he's down 1-0. He needs to respond. He's won before this season. Jesper Svensson looking for a big-time win for his career. Game 2 uninterrupted next.
One more trip to the top of the mountain. A title belt around your waist. There's no better way to leave your signature on this season. 10 frames for the PBA Playoff Championship. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. From AMF Kissimmee Lanes in Kissimmee, Florida. What a showdown we've got between Jesper Svensson and David Boog Croll. The Iceman has the ice storm coming in Florida. And now Svensson a win away from being the PBA Playoffs champion. John Fanta,
come on.
Randy Peterson, Kimberly
Got more
Preston
heart.
with
Come
you.
on.
Here we go. Kroll has to bounce back, talking to himself here about getting an extra chance.
Just heard that song.
Phone went off here. That'll pause. What are you looking for?
Actually,
from
it was a little music from the PA system from our folks that play music during the commercial breaks. There's our wrestlers.
It's great
Which
to have.
which guy do you think you could take, John?
Big Neither.
There you go.
J.D. McDonough and Aaron Corbin are too much.
All right.
Here in game 2, it's going to be interesting to see how long he stays into that urethane ball. In between second and third arrow goes high 4-pin.
During the break, just in his conversations with others, he was saying, I think I'm too amped up right now.
Yeah. Well, understandable. I mean, it's perfectly understandable, right?
2 balks? Holy smokes.
You know, all the experiences on the side of Jesper Svensson. This young man's never been in this situation.
Oh, help it?
Did just enough.
All the way, baby, all the way.
Can't get ahead of yourself.
What? Same thing, just throw harder? Yeah. It's close. I got closer to it, so.
The Ozempic spare. David Kroll talking with PBA champion, his tour rep, Mike Wolf, during the break, and Mike Wolf said, hey, man, relax. It's just bowling.
Svensson is relaxed. He is locked in.
Remember the last shot he threw on that right lane to finish game 1.
Yep.
He went high. Went right through the nose and left it 4-6-10. This one looks like he moved in a little bit more and opened that lane up. And if he's allowed to do that on that right lane, that's going to be really good for Jesper Svensson.
That is the Iceman's game. 11 PBA Tour titles, the majority of which came in 15, 16, and 17.
Oh, boy.
A conundrum here.
The bucket.
Three, 5, 6, 9.
For Jesper, it's going to be something like this. And again, the idea is to cover that back pin.
Your artistry has been in postseason form this afternoon.
It's terrible. It's the screen's upright. I mean, it's not laying flat. It's hard to do.
Make it look easy. And the bucket.
You hear what he said? Got to get lucky. That was a little tuggy. But hey, there's no pictures on the scorecard. You know what I mean? Just strikes and spares and those circles.
That's a great point, because earlier this year, we were talking with Jesper in Washington, earlier in the playoffs, rather. He said, I feel great. I feel really good about everything. just don't necessarily have the results to show for those emotions. Maybe today is that day.
Good shot.
Messenger. The 10 fell at the last moment. And that is your Just Right strike, brought to you by Just Bear.
The mindful choice for high-quality protein with no antibiotics ever. Just Right, Just Bear.
This is why you put power and speed on a bowling ball, and the 7 and the 10 suffer severe trauma.
Breathe. Throw a good one here.
This man has formed his own personal highlight reel this afternoon with his emotions.
Just lay out. Let him do it, right?
Boom. For Boog.
As soon as it leaves his hand, watch his reaction. Check this out. As a player, you know when you know. And there's the run out and the result.
Yes, for Svensson. So he has struck both times on the right side. He will finish this game on the left.
Game one, Jesper actually had a higher striking percentage on the left lane. Oh, no.
The 7.
He got it more up the lane that time. Remember last time on that left lane, he left the bucket, so he gets it going a little more up the lane. Ball skids a little bit longer than he would like, and it's a massive ringing 7.
See the PBA Tour average of 93.2%. Friends at Lane Talk do a great job with that. So isn't it interesting? His success on the left side in game one, and now you've got a pair of spares. And the ringing 7 after the bucket. It's a crazy note about Croll. He flashed it last year. He showed what he was capable of. Those 31 straight strikes in Wichita. Didn't want to be thinking, what if, forever. So he thought, I'm going to go full time this year. Wise decision.
He loved it. And for Croll,
come on, more heart. Come on, more heart.
He's got that heart. He's got the lead right now. Coming up next, week 8 in the UFL caps off as the San Antonio Brahmas look to stay in the hunt for the division title when they host the Arlington Renegades right here on Fox.
Throw one more good one. Oh, Boog, trust it.
That was a big left miss.
Rushed everything, that shot. Missed by a lot.
Too fast.
Holy smokes.
Look at that difference from the ideal.
I mean, I think he's fortunate just to leave the 4-pin. That was a huge miss in. He's having trouble right now, in my opinion, trying to regulate his emotions. And he's just really amped.
Biggest,
wouldn't you agree, John? I mean, listen to what he's saying, some of his
well, look at that,
his
right there.
reactions.
He's trying to calm himself down.
Yeah, pump the brakes, stay in your lane.
But this is the biggest moment of his career.
Absolutely, easier said than done, right?
Look at Troup behind him for Kyle. An afternoon that he knows could have gone differently. But if it comes at the expense of your best friend, there's certain emotion there. Well, they have the kind of brotherhood. Jesper will remind him of that every day. So for Svensson, after Croll with the spare, Jesper could sense it, and now he has a little bit of momentum as we take a look at his year in review.
10th on the point list, 3 top 5s. And again, that really nice World Championship, World Series of Bowling. I mean, he just grinded all year. Right now, he needs to figure out a way to get that farthest left pin out with this shot. He can reduce the deficit to 9.
But the left side has given him issues. No strikes on the left in this game. Can he get that 7?
Oh my goodness.
No. The big 4 for Jesper. And the left side has turned into a nightmare.
Half a mile an hour slower is all it took for him to go right through the nose.
Well, for David Croll, that is a big positive in this race to 2 to try to force a 9th and 10th frame roll-off. Come on. Well, for Croll, he's able to respond with a strike, and he's in control to try to force that roll-off.
Fortunate.
But what do you say on TV?
Again,
what do you say?
He somehow has to find a way to regulate that heartbeat, right?
How many times did you win when maybe you were battling something? You just were far from your best. You had to grind one out.
Not very often. I mean, there's a couple of times where I got lucky doing that, but typically you win because your execution is at an incredibly high level. Oh, man.
Whoa.
What?
It happens back to back on the left. Are you kidding?
Oh, Boog.
Well, that was 1 mile an hour slower for him on that left lane. How about her reaction? She's like, what? And he gives it right back to Svensson.
Wow.
And it looks like we're back to where we were just a couple frames ago. Svensson with a double can cut it to 9. Last 2 shots on this right lane for Svensson have both been light pocket strikes.
He is struck each time on the right.
Hated it.
Boy.
Absolutely hated it.
We got 2 guys battling it right now. That's slower, Randy?
was a little slower, but it looked like he wrenched on it to make it come around the corner. Really got after it, which was, it's going to make it slow down. I don't want it. You take it. No, I don't want it. You take it.
Cleans it up.
Yeah, and with each glimmer of light,
yes,
you give to David Croll, right? What does it do to him? What does it do to his psyche? Does it make him just that much more amped, or does it help him to relax and execute?
For this man, he is the master of the psychology of the game. It's also made for Hollywood. Thank you, Mr. Troup, for the smile. One of the great personalities in this sport. This has been the nightmare side. The 7.
Yuck. I mean, that shot looks really nice until that.
Just shows you, what do we talk about all the time? How difficult it is to win. These guys go through a gauntlet. And this, the PBA playoffs, a culmination of all of the games, the hundreds and hundreds of games. You take a look at Jesper's girlfriend, Jolene, who had never watched him bowl on TV in America. Never watched him in the States live until today. So really cool for her to be here. And she is on Team Sweden internationally. They have a beautiful daughter, Mira, who's 17 months old.
It's close.
You asked what that light would do for Croll.
We'll take timeout.
Let's listen.
Just throw hard and hit it.
Throw hard and hit it?
Throw hard.
Okay. Up the lane?
Just commit it. Just commit to it.
Okay.
This one's good. You're in the right spot.
Yeah.
Stay aggressive. Throw hard.
Okay.
He wants him up the lane, keeping his angle pretty straight, and just said, get after it.
Commit this one. Come on.
Throw it. Keep your speed up.
Come on. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's a difference of 4.
It's so hot.
Well, we're in Florida.
Yeah, it's really humid too, and that's going to have an effect on old patterns no matter what. But I mean, again, folks, keep in mind that these lanes were real prior to this championship match. All right, max score right now, Jesper Svensson, 205.
Off that lane.
David Croll, 215.
And you heard him say off that lane, off that lane. He wants nothing to do with the left side. Nobody does. Svensson here on the right here in the 9th. He will finish on that nightmare left. Croll will finish on the right. Again, Svensson up 1-0. So Svensson wins this game. We're crowning a champion. If Croll forces, if he wins here, he forces a 9th and 10th roll-off. The 7 again.
We lit.
Well, I don't speak Swedish, but I'm going to guess it's probably not good. But again, you go back-to-back flat 7s, and you have the highest rev rate on tour throwing that urethane ball, and that's never a good sign. The question is, what kind of an adjustment is he going to make? This is looking more and more like we're going to a roll-off. Good cover. All right, well, if Croll just gets a mark and good count in the 10th frame, he'll be in the 2-0s. Jesper's best now is 194.
Svensson will take a re-rack here on the left side. What do you do here on this left side, which has just caused problem after problem?
Well, obviously, the left side of the lane has deteriorated massively. In game one, Jesper had 7 strikes. This game, he's got 3. The last 2 shots both hit the pocket. They were just plaque 7s. It's not like this has never happened to him before. You know, he's had to make plenty of adjustments. The question is, which one does he make?
Told us earlier he wants this to be his time.
Ooh,
that's a big time shot. And there's a difference there, RP.
Yeah, I mean, the 4-pin just knocked the 7 silly, and that's what he's looking for, right? But the question is it too late?
Still have one left, right?
It's going to take another
one, please.
Taking another re-rack, and that's always a great strategy. Make the player with less experience wait as long as possible to get up in the 10th frame.
You do never know. This year, that is the phrase. You never know.
If Jesper strikes here and Croll goes 9 miss, Jesper wins. That'd be 194 to 193. So this is big. This fill shot right here is big for Svensson. It'll force Croll to mark.
It has been a wild PBA playoffs. Just look at it, a 9 seed versus a 10 seed. Expect the unexpected. Svensson did! He applies the pressure, does the Iceman!
Well, the good news for David Croll is he's getting up on his good lane, the right lane. He's struck every shot here in game 2 on this right lane.
A mark to force that 9th and 10th frame roll-off. Absolute drama in the PBA playoffs. With that belt on the line. Croll delivers!
Great shot.
David Croll forces the 9th and 10th frame roll-off. We are even at a game apiece. We've got a roll-off in the playoffs.
And Croll being the higher seed, I expect him to start this on the left lane so he can finish on this lane that he's been perfect on here in this second game.
It's not over. It's not over.
It's far from over. Want to remind you that Arlington and San Antonio and UFL action coming up on Fox. John Fanta, Randy Peterson, Kimberly Pressler with you here to crown a playoffs champion in the PBA and Boog Croll.
Yeah. Is it 9th and 10th? Okay, yeah. I'll start.
Broken by 9th and 10th frame roll-off. The higher
seed David Croll
moves on to a 9th and 10th frame roll-off here against Jesper Svensson. Croll, the higher seed, elects to start.
2 left. Come on. It's not
Take
over.
a look here. Higher seed, Croll chooses the order. So he chooses to start. Higher pinfall wins. Max score, you see there is 60. If at the point that we get through this 9th and 10th, we're still even, it moves to a 1-ball roll-off. Randy, Kroll starting, and he starts on the left.
One strike on the left lane in game 2. Oh boy.
Clutch!
Oh boy. He kept trying to jam it on that left lane. And he finally does it perfectly there. Now the Iceman on that right lane. He was pretty good. Didn't throw a strike on the left lane until the 10th frame.
Light and leaves it the 9. So Kroll in control here. Again, we still have a 10th.
Biggest frame of his life, he needs water.
Yeah. Some high quality H2O. All right, talk me through here this 10th.
Well, if Jesper strikes out, he'll force Kroll to double in the 10th frame.
Which he's already come up clutch. Just didn't in game 2 to apply the pressure.
Last time up on this lane, 10th frame, he struck out all 3. Needs to do the same thing. Put all the pressure right back onto David Kroll.
Playoffs title hangs in the balance. Svensson needs it in a big way. Jesper! The Iceman has not thawed yet.
These players are still allowed 1 re-rack each for this 9th and 10th frame roll-off. If Jesper strikes on this ball, I bet he takes one. Oh no.
Oh boy. What happened?
He went light. The ball just never picked up. It just looked like it hydroplaned. And now Kroll, if Jesper makes this, Kroll needs first ball strike in the 10th. But Jesper still has his work cut out from just to make this.
Does clean that up. But David Kroll controls his fate. A first ball strike here.
If he doesn't strike on this ball, he would have to go spare strike to tie. We go to another roll-off. 1 ball roll-off.
Strike in 6.
Biggest shot of his young career right here.
To win it. Sean Swanson was his mentor. He has a tattoo that says never give up on his arm. And he just said, Sean, this is for you.
David Boog Croll. The biggest moment of his life!
That's right! All heart. Thank you. All heart, man.
Boog is cold-blooded!
Let's go! Come on!
The satisfying moment of the match is sponsored by Snickers. Nothing satisfies like a Snickers.
And there is no greater satisfaction than the one this man has right now. He bet on himself.
From pre-tournament qualifier, the back of the kitchen at his bowling center, to PBA Tour Playoffs champion.
Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Holy smokes.
Holy smokes is right as Baron Corbin
Do I finish or
gives him the
what's going
hardware.
on?
Randy Peterson,
Holy
what a
smokes.
story.
Phenomenal. Yes, just phenomenal. Dream season for that man.
Oh my
An American dream come true. David Croll, your PBA Tour Playoffs champion. You've been watching the PBA on Fox.
Holy smokes, man. Thank you, Hammer. Thank you, the bowling shops. Thank you, everyone, for supporting me. Oh my goodness, couldn't do this alone. To the whole house, I appreciate everyone. Oh my God. This one's coming back to Missouri, boys.